Okay, folks, good morning. Happy Sunday. And let's see if I can just adjust the fan to get it to not be too loud. And we went to the store yesterday, as promised. And picked up the stuff to hopefully retract the broom bar. I have this stuff in stock. I just don't know where the hell it is. So let's go ahead and grab the stuff that we got from the store. And one of the most useful things I have found are these items right here. They're called T-pins. I actually don't know what they're for. My wife said, oh, they're for curtains. And they come in a nice little container. They've gone up in price a lot since the last time I bought them. Probably tripled in price. They might have been too cheap the first time I bought them, like under $2 or something. So and these are sharp, so we're gonna need at least 3 of them. Might need less than 3. Let's just pull 3 out. I mean, they give you a nice freaking case for them to go in. So, and I got lots of these. Not lots of these. I have another one of those somewhere. I just can't find it. And I don't want to destroy my entire closet that's put away to just find it. So we're going to need that. We're going to need a file. People freak out about using anything that's needle-like, and I'm like, it's not a big deal. It's all you got to do is take the very tip off, and it won't dig into your skin. That's it. That's all you got to do. I use needles and pins and all that kind of stuff. You never have to worry about them bending, breaking. Okay, so you got 3 of those. Oh, this is the one I should be using. Got less stuff on it. And this one we'll cut a little piece off of to put the epoxy on. Get my reusable needle. Also the epoxy applicator. You just take old piece of epoxy off like this and it's good as new. And keep reusing it. But before we do all that, so we've got these broken axles that, this brittle plastic just can't survive. It's just very, very old. This idler wheel in the back may end up actually breaking on us, where we have to replace it as well, but we'll just let that happen. We'll just let nature take its course. Now, the fact that these are T-pins, what comes in handy is, if it was a regular pin, you'd have to worry about securing it from the back. But generally, you should be able to feed this through. And I may not be able to do it on this one. I may have to cut this one down. Or not. Well, I did something stupid. Uh-oh. You broke your airbrush. Nah, I'm just going to let you tell me. I'm not going to guess. And it allows one side to be stuck in there. You don't have to worry about it, and then you can epoxy in place. Okay, so I got it in there. I'm going to take my overkill. Look at this. We can like cut our way out of Stalag 17 with this thing. And I'm going to take one side off. Jeez. I took the whole thing off. Oh, look, it's still attached. Okay, that's not so bad. But now, yeah. I wonder how that happened. All right, let's pre-cut this so we don't have that same issue. Yeah, you can't really look at it because all kinds of, that's what's so difficult to cut it. I was cutting through too. Well, I didn't mean to. I meant to cut it like this. No, that's attached. I'm going to leave that one in there. We'll use this one for the other end. And obviously it doesn't need to be this long. We can adjust, we're going to adjust that. And one that's going to go in here, which is not very long at all. So we should, if we're careful, even be able to use part of this. Oh, look, there we go. Let's see if we can cut this thing in half. Put it in your hand and keep your eyes closed. Okay, and this should be able to do fine. For a little axle that's left to be, let's see what you said there. Send me over the edge. Now I need to buy Tamiya cement. I know it's the best stuff on the market. I'm kind of angry at myself for losing my temper like that. What happened? You spilled some cement? Shit happens, man. None of us are perfect. We're all going to keep making mistakes. And, you know, if you're watching hobby people do things and they don't make any mistakes, thinking they're some kind of wizard, they're lying to you. You know, we all make mistakes, and hopefully we don't keep making the same one over and over again, because that's just frustrating and stupid. You know. You need to read what I posted before that dude, or you will be lost. What dude? What dude? Is this on, is it on Facebook? Is it on the last feed from yesterday? Yeah, I don't know where this is. Tell me where I need to go. I'll read it right now. It's okay to go over the edge. I get hot-tempered sometimes. It's better than being somebody who never gets bothered by anything or has, you know, like, ho-hum, you know. I get overly passionate about things sometimes. No, you need to read what I posted above in this chat. I don't see anything though, dude. Well, let me see. Let me adjust the chat settings. I don't see anything there. It's set on top chat. Let's go ahead and put it to live chat and see if I have something different. No, I just see 1, 2, 3, 4 posts plus the explains why I flipped my lid. And I don't have anybody blocked. I certainly wouldn't have you blocked. You know how to behave. You've proved it. Sorry, man. Let's see. Can I do something different here? Toggle timestamps. Oh, is there timestamps on here? Oh, I didn't know timestamps weren't on here. Good, we'll have timestamps on there now. Excellent. I just started this feed, so I don't see it on here. The first message I see on here is, well, I did something stupid. I flip my lid all the time. I don't have a problem with it. I generally don't give a shit. You know, if I'm having a bad day, I've got no problem letting everybody know I'm having a bad day. Kind of proud of it. Doesn't mean you give up. Just means, I don't want to contain it and then turn into a serial killer. That's not true. Serial killer kill random people. I'd be a hitman. I got a list. I'm not going after random people. Sorry, Nordic, you're not on the list. You gotta try harder to be a dickhead. Oh, man. I don't know where your comment is. Tell me where to go and I'll be happy to go there right now. None of us are perfect. And that's okay. Let's take a little bit of this off. Cover your eyes tightly. Uh-oh, just got a notification. I don't have anything. Off. Let me try something different. Shit, that's drying. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and glue this in place, and then we will go on a search. Okay, I want this thing pretty close to that. So whatever this is needs to be relatively small. I don't think I need to go even smaller than that. I think that if I put this on here, and this on here, we cut about that much off, right? Okay, watch your fingers. Mind your fingers, I need them. I need them more than most people. That's pretty good. All right. Put that full there. I generally ignore people that are trouble, but sometimes they just wind me up. Last time I got really angry at somebody, they actually were somebody that posted on a friend of mine's Facebook page, and generally he actually is borderline idiot. He posts a lot of things just to get into arguments with people, egg people on. And this one guy I had to block him. I'm like, I don't want to know that this person's alive. That's how bad this individual was. I'm like, I just don't. I don't mean a friend of mine. I mean the other guy. Oh, this is interesting. Did I go deep enough with this? Probably not. All right, I'm gonna risk letting this dry and having to make another batch because I need to. We got that exactly where it needs to be. I need to go deeper into these because there needs to be more substance to it. Possibly turning on me. avoiding that. Make sure we're centered or we're going to have a mess. All right, let's see if you posted something. And then I think I may have another way of looking at it. If it's off the same feed, but I just started the feed. Oh, Facebook Messenger. Posting on Facebook Messenger make it easy. Okay, excellent. I love Facebook Messenger. It's easy to tell. All right, one moment and I will solve all your problems. No, I won't. It's okay to be upset about stuff. It means you're human. It means you have passion. Let's see what we got here. Okay, how much weathering not turn out right? A culmination of the weathering not turning out right. The shitty Mr. Hobby S cement, which I think smells horrible, just not holding the pieces on. Well, I didn't know that different cements behave differently. I mean, excuse me for being stupid, but I just thought if it was a weld cement, it works. Not with that Chinese plastic that damn King Tiger comes with. Not holding the pieces correct and just overall frustration caused me to launch the Panther into the door. Now the kit resides in a lot of pieces. I feel stupid, let my temper flare like that, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know that I've ever thrown a model kit, but I've thrown other stuff. So, and generally not at a door, it's usually a wall. It happens, man. It happens. It's your tank. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. Nah. I have many faults. I think one of them is definitely not being dishonest. And there's a lot of people out there that shill for a company that just doesn't work. If I say, hey, this stuff is great, I got nobody paying my bills. I would love for everybody's products that everybody makes in the hobby industry to be wonderful. But the reality is they don't all work the same. And also the thing is I may really dislike something and it may be your favorite thing. But yeah, I'm not going to tell somebody something's great and then it isn't. That's just, nobody's paying me and I wouldn't want them to. That's some dishonest shit. That's shifty crap. Uh-oh. Last time I leave the internet on hobby stuff was all the reviews said Mr. Hobby is as good as to me as a crock of shite. Well, it's Japanese, right? So it should be. I'm a big fan of anything Japanese, but I just never used it because it smelled so pungent. The gold standard in weld cement used to be testers. Remember that came kind of in a little bottle like this? This is basically a knockoff of the bottle, except it's, flatter lid, shittier brush. This brush is incredible. Incredible. They should have an award named after them. Here's your award, and it's your award because you're named after. So somebody gave me a copy of this, of the testers. This is, I guess, their new formula. It's new formulas. When's the last time you had a new formula that worked better? I don't remember. This stuff smells horrible. It smells like fingernail polish remover. It's just, and the testers, original testers smelled like this. Like, you don't want to be covered in it. You don't want to huff it. I don't want to huff anything. I got tequila if I want to get high or get happy. It's had a similar smell to this. Basically a smell that the wife would be like, "What are you doing in here?" But you, as the operator, are like, "It's just kind of a toxic thing that I'm doing. It's not that stinky." But this stuff smells horrible. The Mr. Hobby, I think, smells, at least the one that I opened up in Hobby Lobby, smells even worse than this. That's why I like to use this one, which is the Hippie Kaye one from California, and it actually smells good. And that is the micro weld. Now I'll admit sometimes it doesn't work as good as the Tamiya one. Sometimes the Tamiya one works too good and it melts to pieces. So there are some differences to it. I just don't understand how this weld cement can be non-toxic but yet at the same time melt plastic. You know what I'm saying? These two things seem to be pretty incompatible. Blame it all on GMT. Oh, Greenwich Mean Time. Mr. Gregory, welcome. Yeah, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You know. I also don't want to recommend something, and then let's say I've got a good batch of this, and then they went and the ones they make now, for instance, I'm not saying this is the case. They use a different formula. They don't work as well. So somebody goes in and, oh, look, I punched all the way through. It's actually not a big deal. And probably a good thing considering it's going to go as deep as it can. So we'll do the same thing with the other one. And, I don't want to lead somebody astray saying this product is great and all of a sudden they do some reformulation and all of a sudden it's not any good anymore. I think I feel it. Coming in the air tonight. I think I feel it coming in the air tonight. There you go. Okay, this one just shy of that. So yeah, there's some people out there that are literally deceptive. There's some people that are like, "Oh, I'm on the internet. I can just tell lies and I don't have to answer for it." Well, if you never go to that news group again and you don't have to defend your point, maybe, but it's just too difficult to lie. What's the point? Okay, so we need about that much meat. Cover your eyes, boo. Oh, now I know how to get the thing to pop out. Well, now we'll replace it with the other one. Gonna be like that. Make sure to only cut through one. Okay. But there's some people that are definitely nefarious on purpose. And I only wish them the worst. Okay, let's see how we're doing here. Let's cut it down a little bit more. And the whole backside will be epoxied in place. Yeah, that's good. And let's do the same thing with this side. The main thing is, what's that old adage? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If the glue you're working with is working just fine, don't replace it with another glue. Now, if you're out of one glue and it's time to rebuy it, yeah, maybe try something new. But I generally only change brands of things when The other company like goes out of business and the stuff isn't available, or they stop carrying it, or And sometimes it has good results. Like I think the Vallejo texture putty is better than the Liquitex. But the only reason I switched from Liquitex is because they decided not to make that stuff anymore, because they were going to ruin the earth by continuing to make it. Okay. Let's see what we got here. The thing is, I've used nothing but Tamiya on building some models and plastic miniatures, and never once had a pieces just fall off and not be able to adhere to one another like Mr. Hobby S. I discovered it was crap when trying to get the tracks on, and the parts on the side of the hole just kept coming off. Yeah, almost like too watery. The torsion bars kept popping off when I tried to get the wheels on, and got worse with the tracks. Placed it because I was out of Tamiya. Okay, fair enough. And didn't want to pay shipping. Fair enough. But after that, I will pay the damn shipping. Yeah, it happens, man. I don't think you did anything wrong. I think you switched what you needed to switch, and go buy yourself another model and throw it into the wall this time. It's easier to replace the wall. That's why I say throw it into the wall. Assuming you still have that paint color. And just for the record, no, I do not support violence against people, just inanimate objects. What, the wall's going to file a complaint? I've had situations like that happen, but can't say in the hobby, because things pretty much go okay here. I get super frustrated at work. I mean, this is like, I got no fucking problems here, like none. Because I can walk away from stuff here. Like, if stuff starts going south, I'm like, you know what? Ain't worth it. Screw you. I'm going to go work on something else. At work, you got to, like, deal with stuff. You can't walk away from it unless you walk away from your job. And, I got too much personal overhead for that, unfortunately. Okay, here's the two pieces. We got this little guy glued on here. I still think it's better to have outbursts like that than hold all that stuff in, man. You'll end up being like that one. You'll end up being like Michael Douglas and falling down. Would have been funny if it was a plain kit. Yeah. Well, look at the bright side. It wasn't a Tamiya kit. I don't know. I might build a Tamiya kit now and agree with you that they don't have enough detail. But I was always a fan of them 30 years ago. They also were the best thing in town 30 years ago. Shy of, maybe something from Verlinden. Which I guess, didn't you tell me old man Verlinden passed away? Probably one of those situations where nobody took over his company. But that was like the gold standard of everything in the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. Francois Verlinden. All right, we're going to go super goop on this. And put lots of goop back here. Let that shrink a little bit. Same thing over here, super goop. So back when I was doing plastic models last time, probably the last time I built one was probably somewhere in the early 90s. I hated epoxy. Absolutely hated it. It came in that tube. I think the stuff they had back there just sat on shelves for too long. And it just it was not effective by the time I got it into my hands. And every single time it would remain tacky. I mean, you don't have to perfectly mix the two things. I think if you're like, I haven't done anything official, but I think if you mix like 65-35, 65% of one and 35% of the other one, you're still okay. It's not like it needs to be like super anal retentive, exact measurements. And with the tube, you're getting a lot better than 65-35, even if you compensate the one side. Because, you always have one part of the epoxy that the resin, the hardener or the resin? I think the resin part, that's a lot tackier than the other one. You know what? Let's be civilized and do this in two parts. Let's let this dry. Maybe. I gotta find that extra sprue from the Panzer IV. I know where it is. It's hidden in my closet. I'm not pulling everything out to get to it because I want to put the pistol ports on here. No, I got a fetish for pistol ports. It's an early rum bar. One of the ones knocked out at the north part of Kursk. I don't remember where they were used. I don't know if they were used in Paneri. I know the elephants were used in Paneri. Well, I made the mistake of spilling the beans to my daughter at the car show this morning. The monthly car show that I haven't been to in almost a year. The theme they decided to pick is JDM stuff. Technically should be all Japanese domestic market. So it should be all Japanese cars that are right-hand drive. But it isn't, so. And then my daughter wants to go to it. So I'm not going to be able to be on here as long as I would have expected. I think she's just, wife says it's, her last days here before she goes to college. So I'm going to go do that. I just wish I would have known and I would have washed my car. So I'm going to go park somewhere out of the way and leave my dirty Subaru not in the front and center. It's not that dirty. It's just, at work and stuff. So but maybe we'll catch some cool vehicles there to salivate over that they don't make anymore. They don't bring here into the United States. So probably going to be on here just about an hour and a half. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but I just figured I'd send a warning. If you got any big plans to spend the morning with me, I'm not going to be able to do that. Right? It's 6:30? Yeah, 8. Yeah, the show's at 9, so I probably need to cut off at 8. Okay, so we just need this thing to dry and percolate. Do its thing. While that's drying and percolating, the other thing that I bought at the store that I also am not out of, but I don't know where it is, and I don't mind buying this. I haven't bought this in 20 years. What I like to call, I think you should be the right stuff, is Stickum, as I like to call it. Scotch removable putty. This is the stuff that you would like put posters on walls with. I hope this works. Feels like it so far. That smells interesting. It smells like a hospital. And that's never a good smell. And I've only been in the hospital once for myself. The first time. All right, I'm going to take half of this out. That stuff was relatively cheap. The T-pins weren't. The T-pins, I think last time I bought them were like $1.50, which is almost too cheap considering they came in a plastic thing. Now they're like $4.99. Thank you. Okay, so we've got these pennies. Now let's find my clowns. Yeah, they're here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alternatively, I could just stick a T-pin in them and then hold that, but I'm a big fan of moving guys around on pennies. This works a lot better than the old one I was using, which was normally I would use super glue, but super glue doesn't work really well with these guys. It's too brittle. I ultimately don't need them on a stand, per se. Jeez, keeps getting bigger. All right. Here's one. You know, the fact that these figures are okay and they paint up pretty well and they're soft plastic adds so many other figures that you could make and add in your vehicles. Not being limited by, I can't use the soft plastic ones because they don't paint worth a damn. So how are we doing here? All right. This one does not have the idler replaced yet. So that one could break. So we're going to try to be careful and put it around it. All right, I want to hide this boo-boo, so to speak, towards the bottom. Oh, this is going to be just fine. Just taking those teeth off the front makes all the difference in the world. Okay, this slides easily on it, and then we'll be able to epoxy this in place and put the Q-tips and give this some kind of slack. And if it's not perfect, it's going to look, you know, good enough to work. Okay, that was the good side. Where's the one with the non-replaced? That's this one. We got to be careful with that. Staple goes towards the bottom. Another reason to mount these guys on stands is it really minimizes the amount of messing with it that you're doing. Yeah, so we'll glue this in place, and then when it's in place, we can stick something in here to give just a little bit of slack. We don't have to go crazy, just to give it some kind of a interest. Make it look something better than a toy. All right, and we need to do, this is what I should have done, is epoxy this in place too. Because you do not want this thing falling back into the turret. I could just glue it in place. It's not like I need this thing to turn around and stuff. I'm just going to use standard glue. Glue that and glue the back. And hopefully between both of those, we're not going to have an issue with this coming undone. Good morning, Marcus. How you been, man? We had a pretty strong thunderstorm earlier this evening. We haven't had rain in a couple days. I had a pretty successful day yesterday of staying indoors as much as I could. They sent an announcement of what they're planning on running on Monday. I'm like, I'll see you guys in October. I'm not dealing with this crap on my free time. Okay? I'll glue it here even though it doesn't touch there. Oh, I think they're playing some kind of War of Spanish Succession. What is it they're playing? Command and Colors, adaptation with miniatures. It's a fine game. I just don't want to be sweltering in a freaking shed playing it. Actually, I haven't had a problem with anything they've been playing. I don't want to suffer in the freaking heat doing it. It's his day off and he works in a cooler. And it's my work day and I'm working a hot box. And I'm like, I'm just not interested in any more hot box than I already have to do. Okay, so there's a bit of a gap there. We're going to have to fill that in. bit of gap on the back too, but I'm not worried about that. There's enough stuff going on back there. It's not really noticeable. It's the front that's really like gleam. No big deal. We filled that up on a couple of the other vehicles and it worked just fine. Let's take something heavyish and set it on it. All right, let's base paint these Soviet tank crew. And yes, the guy with the flowers is going to be the first guy I'm going to do. I wasn't excited about him until I created that little rhyme, and I'm like, up, I got to go there. That's got me written all over it. Oh. Okay, let's see. I've been catching up on videos, and I'm about busted a gut with your KV2 poem. Well, you know, it's just I'm not a big planner, so things just happen, you know. It's all about having fun. Never accept flowers from a communist. It's easier to find a paintbrush. If we don't mind abusing. Oh, no, that one's too nice. Here we go. I should order that newish Tamiya Check 38, get some Tamiya cement with it. And put wings on it too, so it can fly away from that wall. You don't want to build that Panther anyways. Damn yellow colored German tank. And just for the record, I did wash these guys way back when. So these have beautiful faces. Well, you know, for a Russian. No, I mean, the casting on them is really good. You know, if I had really intention to play, build only things that were for a scenario. But I don't know. I'm really enjoying doing whatever the hell I want, and I think that's the therapeutic part. Is I can work on whatever the hell I want to, not like what I have to work on. I don't want to do anything hobby related where I have to do something. Like I gotta go over and play a game on, you know, in a 90-degree weather shed. Like I don't want to. I mean, yes, they have air conditioning. It's still hot as fuck, you know. As long as you're working on something, okay? I can hop around you know, as long as you're working on something, it's all good. This is the guy that's looking off into the distance. Like I haven't fired up the airbrush. I don't want to pull things out and have to put them back away. Maybe I should just make a mess and maybe somebody would be interested in the house then. Actually, we've had a lot of people that have looked, just people nitpicky about things. It's like, obviously, you haven't seen other houses in this neighborhood. This one is stellar compared to the other ones. But whatever. It is what it is. I mean, this guy even has those little things under his eyes like Bill Clinton. What do you call that? Bags. Little bags under his eyes. Really some superb artistry in some of these products. And the ones that come with a kit, they're just, for the most part, they're trash. But these things are stellar. And this guy has a great face, too. This guy looks more like Ted Kennedy. Hey, they're political officers. Actually, I've never painted a commissar. And I just have a feeling that using a commissar in a game would just be freaking hilarious. All kinds of crap that could happen. Oh, I should have drilled his hand. That guy's going to end up having some kind of a signal flag or something. Oh, well, it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. Okay. And I think we're good with the first coat. Make sure you put this in the water and not in the coffee. Because of all of the paint that I have here that I wouldn't mind drinking, well, I don't want to drink any of it. I don't want to drink something with polyurethane in it. I don't think that would be my first choice. Can you get me some Agent Orange, please? It may help defoliage these crap Chinese trees. Yeah. Did you buy a bunch of those on Wish? You know, they make good stuff. They make some good stuff in China. Some of my favorite model companies are Chinese. I didn't know. I had no idea. Hopefully they treat their employees okay. Who knows? Probably not. But S Model and Trumpeter are excellent. S Model better than Trumpeter. Trumpeter just like, we'll give you all these like photo etch things, but then we won't give you the options to open the hatch. Like, why, man? It's such a basic thing. Amazon recently had a game with a commissar, and we allowed morale to increase when he was killed. Commissar is not well liked. I have some really cool commissar looking figures. Commissar looking figures? No, they're not commissar looking. They are commissar figures. Yeah. I have no problem using a commissar. I haven't painted any, but I don't know about using SS. Just, commissar is one dude. It's one dude that's a dickhead, not a platoon of dickheads. There's a difference. All right, let's get the Vallejo putty. This should be easy to find, considering it is a completely unique. It better be easy to find. I'll tell you, I had everything right here, and then I moved it away from the desk. And if it's not here, I guess I just will have to put it off for another day. I'd rather not do that. I don't think I've used it in quite some time, so it should be there. And it is not. You could use this crap. Tester's contour putty. I guess I'll use that if I can't find it. Like I said, I literally moved everything out I wasn't using to have a minimalist amount of things here for the house showing. And we're kind of in idle mode. All right, let's use this garbage. It's not the best, but it's here. Oh, nice. I knew I had to get some of it out because it wasn't going to be the greatest. If this doesn't work, we'll put the Vallejo on top of it whenever it is that we find it. But Could use milliput as well, but this should work just fine. Squadron signal putty. That's what we used to use. Back in the day. Somebody once did an article of melting pieces of sprue and mixing it with this and making their own putty. I don't know where the hell that is, that article. I bet if I look for it. I never did get a try to use it, a chance to use it. It sounded like a good concept. What else are you going to use sprue for? It's not any good for antennas as far as I'm concerned anymore. All right, I'm gonna leave it a little on the big side there. I'm always continue fucking with it. Well, we do need to mine some of that gap, so. This kind of stuff is a lot more fun to use ever since I had to take my contacts out and do it that way. It's a lot easier to see what's going on there. Yeah, it's somewhere. I don't know where the hell it went to. But I'm not going to go and destroy everything in my closet. There we go. Okay, that should be plenty good. We can take off the difference when we come back from the car show. No, we're able to use something we haven't used in a long time. It's around here somewhere, but that's what happened. So that's pretty much it on this guy. I guess I could have put a periscope up there, but I don't know. It's not like it's not built yet. We can do that at a later date. Not a bad little thing. I'm going to take these little bits and put them back in a little plastic bag they were in. Easy. $231 next. You're right. Somebody's paying attention. Spot on, sir. Yeah. Another kit that's not for the weak-hearted, weak-minded, inexperienced, noob, a non-noob friendly kit. What are these, Polish? Let's see. Flip, flip, flip. There we go. You guys dry, we'll mess with you guys later. As long as you're working on something. All right. First thing I like to look at is what kind of decals. That's it? Oh, you assholes. They give me black crosses to put inside the white, so a decal on top of a decal. Well, we won't be using those. They do give me license plates, so that's good. Let's find out. Let's open this up and find out what came broken. Ooh, the MG42 looks nice. I would use the one cross on top of another, but until I run out of them. Okay, so let's read let's read something about this. It's kind of interesting. Interesting how this sentence starts, how the write-up on this vehicle starts right off the bat. After the Hawker Typhoon fighter was added to the RAF's inventory, really? We're talking about aircraft? The Panzerwaffe endured heavy casualties and German troop movements became complicated. As the Typhoon was armed with 4 cannons and 8 rockets, the German military command put out a requirement that a new armored car intended to replace the out-of-date SDKFZ 231 8-rad and the SDKFZ 232 8-rad should be able to resist air attacks. So why did you arm them with the same weapon? Just saying. The new SDKFZ 234 was equipped with a 20mm KWK-38 gun installed in a hexagonal turret, allowing 360-degree rotation and a good vertical arc from -4 to +70. Wow, that's pretty extreme.Maybe it had more vertical stuff. Installed the same way as the SDKFZ 222 and the 250/9, it showed itself to be very effective in combat. The low turret was covered by netting, had a 14.5 millimeter armor on the side and 30 millimeter in the front. A 7.62 millimeter MG42 machine gun was also installed in the turret offset to the left. Nevertheless, as the SDKFZ 234/1, as the new armored car was classified, was mainly designated for reconnaissance, it was equipped with two wireless stations, FVGR-12SE80 and FVGR-F, and a 2-meter radio antenna. A radio aerial was fitted at the rear of the turret. Serial production of the SDKFZ 234-1 started in June 44. See, I thought they started making these things around the time of Kursk. I guess I was wrong. Now here's the interesting part. Of course, it's the last paragraph that's of particular interest. Serial production started in June 1944, and it was an opportune time as the Allied air forces dominated on the Western Front and the air raids of British and American ground attack aircraft were continuous. Most of the 200, so 200 of these were made, were produced up to the beginning of 1945, were sent to the Western Front, and they fought there in the last battles of World War II. So most of them went to the Western Front. I'm surprised, honestly. Okay. Cool. It starts talking about a Typhoon. Oh, this is interesting. Maybe this is like little netting I have to put on the turret. Made of nylon, looks like. We'll put that there. It's safe to not get lost. Yeah. If I'm getting attacked by Typhoons, I'm not building an armored car. I'm hiding. I'm going to go hide somewhere. Typhoon, another one of those sexy British aircraft. Yeah, the rode in 234-1, 234-2, 234-4, but sold them and replaced them with the Eschi versions, easier builds, not painted them yet, though. Well, I have two of these. I have a 232 that is, I want to say an Altai, a pre-built, a 234, 3, and a 4. So these actually vehicles are good for skirmish games because, you know, they've got a lot of weaknesses. Now, the worst thing about these rode-in kits, not really from a build standpoint, from a practicality standpoint, is they give you these little seats that go inside the turret. There's no way you could put anybody in them. So I just build them and there just won't be anybody in there. And it's not a big deal. Okay, so the very first thing they want you to do is build the business end, the 20 millimeter cannon. You don't want me to build all the suspension? It takes forever and a day first? Wow. Okay. Does it come in black? Really? I haven't even touched something and the piece already fell off. Or it was loose. Gun shield? No, that's a fender. Here's the 20 millimeter cannon. This is a job for the Tamiya cutters, without a doubt. These rode-in kits are very, very brittle. They're well detailed, but they're very, very brittle. So that's 15E. All right, I get to build a kit that has the pieces labeled right next to the piece. Okay. 16E, which is the magazine. I believe these had a 10 round magazine. 10 or 20 round, I don't remember. I want to say it's a 10 round. Da 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 da. Okay, switch it out. Put another one in. Autocannon. Piece 10, which is here. And 13E, which is right here. Oh, there's the top of the turret, and it's not broken yet. Curious about those Humbers, those Humber cars that Plastic Soldier Company's coming out with. Just got announced a couple weeks ago. That'd be kind of cool. Of course, I really want to do some honeys first. Okay. This is actually the end that attaches to the gun, so this needs to be flush. Let's get this close. And I might actually only have about 15 minutes. I was about to say, I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm like, oh no, it's a work day. Oh no, what'd I do wrong? Say it ain't so. Some of these pieces, you got to make sure you don't take off something that's not a piece of sprue. Like this little nub down here is not sprue. This one is, and that one is, but not that one. Some reason I don't mind this as much as cleaning flash on white metal figures, and I think the reason is cleaning flash on white metal figures, you have to use a lot more horsepower behind your movements. This is just really lightly, just taking it down really, really lightly. There's hardly any wind here. Why are you blowing? Okay. The magazine is going to go there. These tweezers are so good. I'm like, I could barely make out they're made in Switzerland. So I'm like, I wonder how much tweezers from Switzerland go for. That was a mistake. Won't be buying any of those. How much for a what? Holy smokes. They must do your laundry for you too. There you go. Okay, this has a little notch in here. A really part that sticks out, but it doesn't stick out very far. I thought for sure the 234-1 was like after Kursk. I would have never known that had I not bought a model of this. It's weird to me to see a picture of a 234, a 231-1 or a 232 in Dunkelgelb. It just looks weird. I could deal with them in Africa. I could deal with them in Panzer Gray. Not I can deal with them. I like them in Panzer Gray, but Dunkelgelb, that vehicle, just seems too early of a vehicle to be in Dunkelgelb. It's like let's put a Czech 38 in Dunkelgelb. It just don't look right to my eye. Okay, and this goes through the middle, huh? I'm going to put this through, and then we'll glue it in place. Where does it attach? Through that? I don't want to put it on and then make everything sticky along the way. Okay, the business end is complete. Oh, now you want me to do things that involve the mesh. Yeah, we're not doing that because I'm kind of teetering on almost having to get off. So we're going to circle this and say we didn't do that one or this one. All right, let's build. Let's build the next one. E. Okay. 11 and 12. All right. 4E here. 8E also here. And 7E also here. Okay, let's use the cutters so we don't flex these in a way they're not supposed to. 11E, that one goes on this side. Okay. So we're going to put it over here. 12E goes on that side of the drawing. So we'll put it over here, over there, over there. 8E. 4E. 70. Well, put that aside. Let's clean these pieces up. Okay, see if we can get away with assembling all this before it's time to be quiet and be done. To make sure this gets oriented in the correct way. Okay. This goes underneath. With a catch-all on that side. Good. Like a little, there's like a tiny little indentation that the other piece is going to fit into. So we'll put that on here. Flip this around. That's kind of interesting. These have two pieces that look like they come up here on the sides. I don't remember chopping them off, and it doesn't look like I did, but they're not molded on there. Okay. This piece sits between here and here. And we need to flip this 180. Fits in that little peg. And then there. And we'll just put a tiny little bit more for good measure. Now these sides, I'm not really worried about it. The bridges fit on the inside, which means that one goes here. And this one goes over here towards the inside like this. We'll just pretend there's a peg there and glue it. It's not like it's that big of a deal. The pegs really pretty much help you for making sure it's in the correct place. Mr. Ben, welcome. Just in time for me to sign off. I unfortunately have to relatively soon here. Now, and that piece supposedly would attach up here, so we'll just pretend it's there and weld this like so. And we'll do the same thing on the other end. I got a bunch of stuff I have to build today in 1-to-1 scale. Have to put a bunch of furniture together for my daughter's dorm room. Not a bunch, but some. Okay, that should fit the part. Just fine. That's what this little assembly looks like. Okay, and it's just after 7:30, so I'm gonna have to sign off, wake the daughter up, and she wants to go to a car show. So we'll do that this morning, and well, that's as far as we get. You know, we got the brum bar waiting for the front here to dry, which a couple hours later should be able to scrape that off, and then we can go and start stuffing things in here and make this track look a little bit more realistic. But yeah, just steady progress. So thanks for stopping by, folks. Enjoy what's left of your Sunday, and we'll see you guys